This is probably one of the most interesting evolutions that we've seen in our lifetime. If you're old enough to remember your life before the internet, or even life before computers or smartphones, that was a completely different universe than the one we now.
Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video breakdown, this is going to absolutely blow your mind and be undeniable proof. This might even take a couple of different videos to get my point across, that there is a massive opportunity at hand, something that we have been attempting to reiterate on the CYPRX platform time and time again, is that there will be a certain onset and group of individuals that take advantage of these technological transformations and opportunities at hand, and that elevate their existence, that move in tandem with this digital transformation, or those that do not, those that get manipulated by it, those that don't take advantage of these technological advancements and these investment opportunities, and they will fall behind.
We think it's going to completely change worldwide supply chains. If you're not operating at the edge of innovation or technology, you need to be prepared to be commoditized or potentially to become extinct.
This time, if you're not part of the revolution fast enough, then you probably become extinct.
I cannot stress enough, in today's video breakdown, I'm going to show you all publicly available information, yet none of this information will be shown to you via the mainstream media outlets. Okay, you won't see any of this on the news. You won't see any of this on your local television or radio talk shows or whatever the case may be. You won't see any of this information on Netflix, albeit a lot of it is broadcasted and pushed out to individuals on Netflix. So please pay attention. Share these video breakdowns with friends and family members. Share them on your social media platforms. Let's wake people up so that way we can become a part of the 1% of the population that's actually taking advantage of the investment opportunities at hand in this technological fourth industrial revolution that we are currently living through. People, I cannot stress enough, like, wow, the past couple of years have been absolutely insane. So we're going to start off with this, because this is a wake-up call. Stop calling people a conspiracy theorist because you do not read. And I'm going to physically show you all throughout the entirety of this video breakdown how the lack of education is the #1 reason for the lacking behind of this technological adoption curve that we are currently living through. The vast majority of people don't even know that these opportunities exist.
It's hard to see as a citizen where these new technologies are present, and our role is to change that situation and to...
We are sitting here on a stage and we have an audience in front of us, and these are terms that likely are somewhat, if not very familiar to all of us. There are people out there in the world who have no idea what we're talking about. There are people who've never heard the word blockchain.
Yes, we're all in this industry. We've been in this industry and we understand the jargons, whatever it may be. But when you go talk to, let's say, my grandmother, who's an older lady, etc., she's not really going to understand what the hell a wallet is. Of course, we have like things like account abstraction coming in and ZKs and all this stuff. But at face value, they really don't understand that technology at all. And humans, as just intrinsic nature, are resistant to change and will be, because that's our biology at the end of the day, right? You always fear what you don't know. So are we ready?
And it's because they're distracted. Again, primarily not their faults. It's the matrix in which we live in that is distracting them. But it is your choice, now that you've heard my voice, to decide whether or not you want to break free from the normal way of thinking and living and start reading information. Again, all this information is publicly available. So let me just prove to you all, and again, I'm just going to use a worldwide example. You can go to every single major jurisdiction. Take it upon yourselves to do this research. If you don't believe me, if you believe me, then don't do it. But if you don't believe me, then do this to prove what it is that I'm saying. I'm not making any of this information up. Every single jurisdiction, every single country, every single major governmental entity has a digital transformation strategy to meet the 2030 agenda and beyond. Don't believe me? Go Google it. Go look up your local jurisdiction. Go look up your local state if you're in the United States. Go look up your country. Whatever the case may be, every single place on earth right now has a digital transformation agenda. And I'm just going to show you a quick example. This is from India. talking about India's digital public infrastructure, right? Talking about meeting the country's achievable sustainable development goals. If you're not too familiar with what that is, via the sustainable development goals put out by the United Nations, go research that. It is absolutely mind-blowing. Here you can see them mention and talk about a new internet being built, right? With the principles of Web3 and the immersion of the metaverse. Okay, this is going to play an important role later on in this video breakdown. All right, so I'm just showing you physical proof, physical examples of how they're talking about a digital transformation and accelerating India's digital inclusion. This is from February 2024, this particular document that I'm showing you all. Again, shared in our private CYPRX research group. All right. Talks about increasing digital adoption. Talks about digital transformation here. All key vocabulary words that we've been trying and attempting to show people, all readily, publicly available information. That's what I want to get. I want to get this point across. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. I'm showing you guys information that everybody has access to. Now, this is where it's going to get deep. This is where it's going to get serious. This was published on December 14th, 2023 from Goldman Sachs. Okay. This isn't just some willy-nilly random article, some random person. This is from a large financial institution. All right. Now, the reason why I'm showing you all this information, what's your point here, Cyprus? Why are you trying to wake people up about the digital transformation? Because there are opportunities for life-changing wealth. Okay. Regardless of what avenue of approach or what niche you dabble into, regardless if it's cryptocurrencies, metaverse, Web3 as a whole, right? Digital identity. You have tokenization of real world assets. I mean, the rabbit hole goes so deep. What I'm trying and attempting to do is I have this urge to wake people up. I feel like that's what I was put on this earth to do. I feel like I was implemented into this new investment landscape to wake people up and show them the light in this dark world that we live in right now.
Alex and I always talk about the fact that this is really that blending of the old world and the new world, And it's one of the things that we talk all the time about how that enhancement just really creates so much opportunity,
Okay. So this article goes on to read, the generative world order. Remember, we've mentioned and talked about this terminology, the new world order, right? AI, geopolitics, and the power. Now check this out. If we come right down here, it goes on to read, this window will be brief. So we know that within the next couple of years, there will be a very small window of opportunity to take advantage of. A few years at most. Then views and strategies will harden and norms, values, and standards will be embedded within the technology. While the technology will continue to progress, decisions made today will determine what is possible in the future. Listen to what this gentleman said, literally on a panel discussion that took place not too long ago, talking about the same exact thing that Goldman Sachs is talking about here.
A pivotal moment for inclusive growth. In your letter to partners, you said 2024 has the potential to be what you called a pivotal moment for inclusive growth. So can you expand on that for us and ultimately what it means for the UAE?
24 is a very, very important year, in my opinion, when you look at the next 5, 10 years, 15-year trajectory going forward, particularly when you look at the sectors that the UAE is focusing on, and de facto the sectors that we as an investment institution, Mubadala, are focusing on. So when you look at key themes, energy transition, technology, artificial intelligence, within that, digital infrastructure, these are all spaces that are undergoing a massive transformation, I would say a profound transformation, that today, when we look back in 10 years, we will look at 2024 and probably 2023 as really critical foundation years for a massive investment journey in these spaces, that investment institutions and countries, in this case, that took the right decisions in these two, in my opinion, critical years, 23, 24. 10 years from now, we'll look back I think, and we will be very satisfied if they took the right decisions.
Countries will have devised their approaches and form like-minded blocks. Competition will increase. The cost of changing course will rise, and the available paths for companies and countries will be more determined. What will emerge is a generative world order. All right? Please do not sleep on this information. Again, if you need a community that dives into this research so you don't have to take it upon yourself to do it yourself, consider joining ours. However, there are other like-minded individual communities out there. You're just going to have to do independent research on what those might be. Okay. Here's another example talking about a new world order. Just so you guys don't think I'm making this information up. Again, remember, stop calling people conspiracy theorists because you do not read. This is directly from another large financial institution. This is a document from HSBC. All right. Global private banking. Here you can mention them talk about themes under this trend of the new world evolving order is talking about a new infrastructure. You can see here it mentions digital transformation. Asia and the new world order, digital transformation, okay? Opportunities in a complex world. So again, highlighting that there are opportunities at hand. This is why I'm trying to show you guys this info so you look further into it. This is again from Q1 2024. This is all recently updated information. All the documents, all the info that I'm going to share with you today is from within the last couple of months, if not most recently, even more so, the past couple of weeks. Okay. So we all know what happened. And again, I don't want to get too conspiratorial. I don't want to get this video taken down, but we know what happened in 2019. We've had panelists from SWIFT representatives. If you're not too familiar with what SWIFT is, go do that research. Confirm that in 2019, what did they do via the CV-19 pandemic? Take a second and listen.
I wanted to take a look in the rearview mirror and describe how we got here. And we're not going to go too far. We're going to go about 3 years and talk about what the world looked like then. So we had a pandemic. We digitized everything, accelerated by that pandemic.
Now, just to go over some further supporting evidence and fundamentals supporting that claim. These are from large financial institutions. These are from systemically important organizations confirming the same exact thing. I can't read the X posts that I attached to these articles, but just to show you guys, February 2024, this is from Deloitte. What do they go on to say? Before the pandemic, most corporate payment processes were manual and paper-based, which meant long turnaround times, low efficiency, and low insights from the underlying data. However, the pandemic necessitated overall digital transformation, and corporate payment services were also swept up by this transformative wave. Right? Government central bank interventions across the world, which pushed and are pushing for innovation in the overall payments value chain, have also provided the impetus to transformation in corporate payment services. So this is just to go to show, and I have multiple documents open here that say the same exact thing, right? You can see right here. This is from EY, right? The future of the talent agenda in payments. The payment industry has undergone a significant transformation over the past 2 decades. Following the CV-19 crisis, increased digitization has driven client expectations higher than ever. Here's another example. This is directly from the BIS Quarterly Review from March 2024, where it goes on to say, the COVID-19 pandemic further accelerated the digitalization of payments, right? I'm not making this up here. You can see down at the bottom, BIS Quarterly Review, March 2024. All right. Here's another example. I'm just going to show you guys. This is from June 2023, Strategic Plan for Australia's Payment System. Remember I said at the beginning of this video breakdown, every major jurisdiction has a digitalization agenda, a digital transformation agenda. Okay, here you can see the digital revolution over the past 2 decades has transformed the way Australians make and receive payments. And that goes on to say, partly driven by consumer responses to the CV-19 pandemic, transactions and continuing to shift from in-person to online forms of shopping, and there is an increase in demand for near instant and seamless payment experiences. All right. Last example. This is from another major jurisdiction, Bank of Zambia, right? Vision and strategy, 2023 to 2027. And what do they particularly focus on here? You can see right here. During the period covered by the 2018 to 2022 vision strategy, the world faced the CV-19 pandemic, which had a significant and widespread negative impact on both domestic and global economies. A key role in cushioning the negative impact of CV-19 was to ensure that people could make payments remotely. The bank took several measures to ensure that it created a more enabling environment for payments during the CV-19 pandemic. These measures included increasing the transaction limits for electronic money, right? So it just goes on to further support the narrative that they digitalized the entire economy, okay? Now, why is this all important? Where are we headed? You all need to understand, again, remember, reverting back to what I mentioned, there's going to be an onset of people that use these new technological advancements to their advantage, okay, then there's going to be a certain onset of people that get brainwashed by them, that get manipulated by them, that don't use them to their advantage as investment vehicles and fall behind. And I'm going to physically freaking show you all how this is not make-believe. This is happening. So we're going to listen to a clip, a video from this gentleman right here, Yuval Harari. Now, if you don't know who this gentleman is, go do some research on him. I'm not going to waste time in this video breakdown explaining him to you. Just take it upon yourself, do some independent research and research this gentleman here, okay? Listen to what he says, and towards the end of the video breakdown, we're going to capitalize on some key vocabulary that he mentions. Take a second and listen.
In the Industrial Revolution of the 19th century, what humanity basically learned to produce was all kinds of stuff, like textiles and shoes and weapons and vehicles. And this was enough for very few countries that underwent the revolution fast enough to subjugate everybody else. What we're talking about now is like a second industrial revolution, but the product this time will not be textiles or machines or vehicles or even weapons. The product this time will be humans themselves. We're basically learning to produce bodies and minds. Bodies and minds are going to be, I think, the two main products of the next wave of all these changes. And if there is a gap between those that know to produce bodies and minds and those that do not, then this is far greater than anything we saw before in history. And this time, if you're not part of the revolution fast enough, then you probably become extinct. This time, if you're not part of the revolution fast enough, then you probably become extinct. So cheap labor in Africa or South Asia or wherever, it simply counts for nothing. And again, I think that the biggest question, maybe in economics and politics of the coming decades, will be what to do with all these useless people. I don't think we have an economic model for that. My best guess, which is just a guess, is that food will not be a problem. With that kind of technology, you will be able to produce food to feed everybody. The problem is more boredom and what to do with them, and how will they find some sense of meaning in life when they are basically meaningless, worthless. My best guess at present is a combination of drugs and computer games. When they are basically meaningless, worthless. My best guess at present is a combination of drugs and computer games.
So, if that does not blow your mind, he literally says that, and not everybody is going to help with the ongoing developments and progress of this earth, and they're going to need a way to distract people, the percentage of the population that aren't going to commit to the evolution of this earth, and they're going to do that most likely with drugs and video games, right? Okay. Now let me freaking show you the way that the world is headed. This is not make-believe. This is predictive programming at its finest. I'm going to physically freaking show you all. All right. So check this out. We all know March 20th, 2024, Elon Musk first Neuralink patient can control a computer playing games by thinking. Do you all remember? Okay. In a post that I made to you guys showing you all this whole entire thing that's happening right now with the metaverse. Remember, all the way back from the very first article that I showed you guys, Immensive Technologies. Let's go over here, like Web3 and the immersion of the metaverse, okay? This is all part of the systemic plan that started back in 2019 to digitalize the economy, to transition everybody into a more digital way of doing things, to separate the progressive individuals via the non-progressive individuals that are going to fall behind, okay? And this adoption curve, I'm trying to curve my words here so this video doesn't get taken down, all right? But look at this, all right? If you have not seen the movie Ready Player One, go and watch that movie. You cannot make this stuff up.
This is the Oasis, a whole virtual universe. You can do anything, be anyone, without going anywhere at all.
This event, look at the freaking suits that they were wearing in 2019 when they released the movie Ready Player One on the world. At the same exact time in 2019, when they released the movie Ready Player One, what were we going through? the digitalization of the global economy. People, do you understand what's happening? Okay. I just showed you all. I'm not making that up. At the same exact time, they've released Ready Player One, a movie where they're embedded into this metaverse, i.e., this video game. You just heard what this gentleman just said, right? About video games being the distraction for the masses, right? Now look at what's taking place. All right. This was at an event in Barcelona that just happened. This is from 2 weeks ago. Posted on LinkedIn, MWC Barcelona. Look at what this gentleman's wearing. This literally looks like he was a actor in the movie Ready Player One that was released in 2019. Okay? You cannot make this up. This is the way the world is headed right now. Look at everybody, right? Distracted. Look at the pictures from this event. This is the way the world is headed in the future. I give it another 5 to 10 years before every single, at least the vast majority of the population, again, I can't speak for everybody, but the vast majority of the population is brainwashed and manipulated into this digital way of doing things, this metaverse, this hands-off way of doing things because it's easier. They're going to make it seem like it's easier. Let me not get off track. Let me further blow your mind, okay? Let's just pull up some physical proof that this is the way that the world is going via some systemically important organizations, all right? Look at this document right here where I said Ready Player One, here we go. This is a BIS working paper from February 2024. And look at what they say here. The metaverse has the potential to make education more effective and inclusive. In the metaverse, classes can take place in virtual classrooms where students interact with teachers and classmates in a more immersive manner and access course materials, assigned, and assessments. Online learning in the metaverse may be able to break the frontier of social connection and informal learning. Physical presences in classrooms could cease to be a privileged educational experience. Learning may become more engaged when students take part in virtual field trips in museums and galleries, and travel geographically or through time to witness historical events. They're literally trying to replace this society in which we live in now with a more digitally inclusive one where everybody is embedded into this digitally native world. Think about it, digital identities that are coming. Digital wallets via cryptocurrencies. How do you think people are going to pay and transact and make payments in the metaverse? They're going to utilize blockchain, distributed ledger, and cryptocurrencies, okay? It's all part of this. Oh my goodness gracious, people. Okay, look, let's get even deeper. All right, this document right here. This document is directly from none other than the World Economic Forum. Now, I said in this post, honestly at a loss for words given the future reality that we are headed into. People stuck and obsessed with their virtual reality. Look at the kids, okay? They're not even going to know what a physical classroom looks like or be able to experience that. Or you just heard it from the Bank of International Settlements, travel on a real field trip or go to actual geographical locations to see historical sites. They're going to do it all through this virtual reality. And you remember what this gentleman said about what they're going to need to do to distract the population that isn't really providing any value to the real world, right? They're going to distract them with drugs and video games. Well, what do these things do to children via their dopamine receivers and receptors, right? Again, take a child who knows nothing except technology, iPads, cell phones, YouTube, right? Videos of kids playing games on their freaking phone, and take that away from them and watch how they act. It is a drug, okay? It is a dopamine fix. It's a dopamine hit for these children. I'm like, wow, okay? Look at this. It has immense potential to reshape the way individuals live, work, and interact.
You can do anything, be anyone, without going anywhere at all.
Here you can see it says, the future will enable more AR and MR through avatars, filters, and associated accessorizing digital assets. What did I just say to you guys? How are they going to make payments and transact in the metaverse? Why am I attempting to show you guys? Because again, they're going to utilize most likely digital assets, cryptocurrencies, right? Remember I said there are what? Opportunities, okay? There are opportunities. There are people. They're going to capitalize on this new transformation wave, on this new world order, think about it. Would you rather be the type of person that invested in the digital technologies that they're going to be utilizing in the future? Or would you rather be the person just utilizing the digital technologies in the future? Okay, remember I said there's going to be two separate types of people in the future. There's going to be the people that invested in this new technology and use it to their benefit. And then there's going to be the people that only get stimulated by it and use it. And that's it. All right. Just like how back in the early days of the internet, there were people that invested in internet stocks. There were people that invested in Bluetooth technology and Wi-Fi and cell phone communications and all kinds of stuff. And then now there's a certain onset of people that didn't, and today just use the technology, and that's it. All right. Well, everybody else got rich off of it. You just can really not make this stuff up. The World Economic Forum is literally telling you that they're going to be utilizing filters and associated accessorizing digital assets right here in their paperwork. Okay. Let's move on. Let's go I want to show you guys another document from another large financial institution. All right. We're going to go over here. We're going to go to UBS. All right. Here's a document, again, shared in our private CYPRX research chat. We're going to scroll up to the top so you guys can see 5 technology trends. This is directly from UBS, another large financial institution. And we're going to scroll right down here, and I'm going to end this video breakdown for you guys. And hopefully I've gotten my point across. Right here it says, the CV-19 pandemic helped drive awareness and acceptance of digital learning options, accelerating the demand for remote hybrid solutions. The digital transformation has also impacted the skill requirements for a workforce of the future. And then it goes on to say, opportunities, highlighting that is now 3 documents I've shown you this key vocabulary word. Okay. So for anybody after watching this video breakdown to not think that there aren't opportunities readily available to each and every single one of us at our fingertips, you're sadly mistaken. People, you got to wake up. Education has undergone a remarkable tech acceleration since 2020, driven largely by the COVID-19 pandemic. Again, I'm not making this information up. This is all available info. In support of governmental measures. Consequently, the infrastructure changes needed for advancements in immersive solutions have largely been undertaken, paving the way for accelerated adoption. Due to its digital and interactive nature, immersive learning mitigates traditional education's ecological footprint in several ways, eliminating the need for printed learning materials and reducing the need to travel to classrooms. To name just 2, the increased political focus on climate change. Remember, we know that climate change is their best friend for this digital transformation.
So I think just chipping away at common standards is a good approach. What I would say from Singapore, at least anyway, is the MAS here, working very closely with other central banks to speed up the use of fast payments and common standards across all of the emerging economies. I think that's a really, really good place to be. And I'd actually say one of our best friends out there is actually the whole climate change agenda, because climate change will produce a wealth of data that also harmonize some of our interests, whether it's social or political, globally.
That all sectors will be required to contribute to carbon reduction targets. Educational methods that offer emission reduction potential are likely to be in demand. And you can see, again, these people embedded into the metaverse, brainwashed, while as would you rather be the individual on the opposite side or potentially in the metaverse with these people, but actually invested in this technology in the early nascent stage in this evolutionary process that we're currently in? Ask yourself that question. This is the point that I'm trying to get across, okay? And I hope that this video breakdown did its due diligence in showing you all that there is for a fact a new world order. Again, I'm not making this terminology up. There are for a fact opportunities. There is a technological transformation taking place, a digital transformation taking place that was enacted and accelerated by the CV-19 pandemic. It is all strategy. It is all plan. Okay. I'm not making that up. Physically, proof from systemically large organizations telling you all this. This isn't coming from my brain. This is coming from these organizations. Okay. You have to question and wonder why they're not projecting this information to the masses. Why are all these documents readily available to each and every single person, yet none of it has reached the mainstream? It's because there are opportunities, and these individuals know that, right? Listen again to what this gentleman said. Go back to that part of the video breakdown where he said the people that don't really have a purpose, they need to be distracted. What do they need to be distracted with? Video games. What are we being immersed into? Where is the transition headed towards? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Are you picking up pieces of the puzzle now? Hopefully I'm laying it down for you all in a way that's easily understandable. Many blessings to you guys. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist here. I'm trying to wake as many people up as I possibly can to show you all that you are potentially on the verge of missing one of the largest opportunities in human history if you do not take advantage of doing research, joining a valuable community, regardless if it's ours or others out there, to really dig deep into what's happening right now behind the scenes. As always, do us a favor, smash the thumbs up button and subscribe. If you share this video breakdown to a friend, to a family member, hopefully you can save them and wake them up as well. I will see you all in the next video breakdown.